This video covers topic 6.4 in our notes and overriding equations of lines. So the first problem, we're given a linear equation and we're asked, is it in standard or slope-intercept form? To start, it is in standard form. Now, in order to answer the questions on slope or y-intercept, we have to solve for y. So we move x. We do not combine x with numbers, and then we divide by the number next to x. So negative 4 divided by negative 6 is a positive 2/3. X stays with x. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. Slope is the number found with x. Y-intercept follows, and we write it as a point. They ask if this equation represents a direct variation and ask us to explain. So from 6.1, we remember that the word direct means they don't beat around the bush. They get right to the point and they don't add or subtract anything from it. This y-intercept not being 0, 0 means that this is not a direct variation because our y-intercept has a value and it is not the y-intercept 0, 0. So remember, with direct variation, there's nothing added or subtracted after x because this one has a minus 2 or a y-intercept of negative 2. It is not an example of direct variation. They ask us to write an equation in slope-intercept form of a line parallel to the given equation that passes through the point 3,8. So parallel, we remember that my slope will be the same. My slope was 2/3, so it will stay 2/3. The point 3,8 is my new x1, y1 because I have a point and a slope. I plug in to point slope form. So instead of y1, I put 8. Instead of m, I put 2/3. Instead of x1, I put 3. And remember that my signs on my points 3 and 8 change to be minus 3 and minus 8. I then distribute, so 2/3 times x, 2/3 times negative 3, and then add 8 to both sides. Remember, it's not 8 to all of the terms, it's only to numbers. So 2/3 x stays the same, negative 2 plus 8 is 6. So my parallel just has the exact same slope. I plug it into point slope, and then they ask me for slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. Now, for the bottom one, this one's a lot more complicated because not only do they want it to be perpendicular, but they also want it in standard form. So standard form, I reminded you, is ax plus by equals c. Perpendicular is the complete opposite slope. So up at the top, we had a positive 2/3 as our slope. Perpendicular would mean it is negative 3/2. We flop it. We flip it and make it the opposite. We have the point 6, negative 13, so that's my x1, y1. I plug into point slope, and remember my points become the opposite, so negative 13 turns into positive, positive 6 turns into negative, and I plug in my perpendicular slope. From there, I distribute, so negative 3/2 times x, negative 3/2 times negative 6 is a positive 9. I move the x, so I add 3/2 x to both sides, and then move the 13. And this is what I have, 3/2 x plus y equals negative 4. From there, I have to get rid of the fraction because standard form needs x and y on both sides, and we can't have fractions. So I multiply everything by 2. The 2's cancel with my x, and I'm just left with 3. 2 times y is 2y, and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. That is all of our notes for 6-4. So make sure you remember that parallel has the same slope, perpendicular has an opposite slope, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, standard form is ax plus by equals c.